Hi friends, Mindy here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be working in this altered little golden book again. I want to work on filling up some of the pockets. So I created a bunch of ephemera in the last video using some of the printables from Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio, and I coffee dyed some of those or added them to coffee dyed paper. And so some of these larger ones, they're beautiful just like they are. They kind of are about the size of a postcard. They're like four by 6. And so I just left them like they were. I am going through and kind of rounding the corners, and I just spent some time off camera and kind of decided what I wanted in each of these pockets. And then there are a few that I didn't really have something just kind of ready made like this that would work, and so I'm going to create my own. So you can see I'm just going page by page. Now this one is one where I want to add something. So I have some pre-cut craft cardstock here. These are cut to about 4 by 6, and approximately, they're actually not that quite that size, but you get the idea. Anyway, they just make a good size for this journal. And I'm going through some of the other printables from Michelle. These are from various different collections of hers. She's got several beautiful collections for Christmas, and I cannot remember which one each of these came from, so I apologize for that in advance. But I'm just using the beautiful papers. Some of these are the journal pages, some of these are just collage pages, some of them are ephemera, but some of these beautiful pages. Now this would be great if you're working in just a regular size journal. You could fold it in half and stick it in as a journal page and it would be beautiful. But because I often work in sizes that are not that, an 8.5 by 11 folded in half, I tend to use these a lot for backgrounds and different things, for like journaling cards and tags and those kinds of things. And they work out so beautifully, and because they just already have the kind of collagey background aspect to it without having to build that collage myself and then also take up all of the space that all of those layers would take, if that makes sense. So you just get a lot of bang for your buck with some of these collage papers. So I just picked out which of the corners of this that I wanted to use, and I put some Yoo-Hoo glue stick all over this craft cardstock and then adhered that to the section that I want, and then I'm going to trim this out. And I think that it's beautiful just like it is. I am going to add a little label. This is another one of her pieces from her ephemera collection. I kind of like it just over here on the left side. I did round the corners, and I will go back through off camera actually and just do some distress ink around all of these journaling cards as well. But I'm just kind of going through and rounding the corners of the ones that are put in there. I just think it helps it kind of look a little bit more finished. So I just glued that down, and then I will put this back in my book. And I find at this kind of stage in my journal, going page by page and really just analyzing what I need for each one is very helpful. And I do try to coordinate. So like this one has some blue in it. That's why I have it on that particular page. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason to that, but sometimes I am trying to kind of make whatever's in the pocket make sense with what the pocket looks like, if that makes sense. So this one is actually another ephemera piece. So it's just a little picture of Santa here, and I decided to make him into a tag. He's kind of carrying some packages, and then I felt like it just needed one other little thing, so I found a little label that says Saint Nicholas on it, and I'm just adding that down there in the bottom. And then I will actually come through later when I'm doing kind of all the finishing touches on this journal, and I'll add like a pole or some fabric or something to the top of that. So this next page, I'm actually going to use this is actually a 4 by 6 project life card. I've just had these in my stash. I'm almost out of them, which makes me sad, but they're lined, but they're lined in 2 different directions. Like one side is vertical and one side is horizontal. So I thought these would be really good journaling cards for this journal, and then I will just decorate the side that, the opposite side. So this one is obviously one where the lines would go horizontal, but I'm going to decorate this side. So I started off with, again, another page from Michelle's printables, and then I have this very old German paper, and this is I can't just describe how the texture of this paper is, but it's rag paper, and so it just has like the coolest texture to it, and it's German, so it's got that just beautiful kind of gothic font, and I absolutely love it. And so I'm going to tear this down, this other page just a little bit smaller so I can get some more of this look of this book page on here. And this was actually a card that I did not expect to take as long as it did, but you'll see I left part of the struggle in this card on here so you can kind of see, but I'm just using my glue stick, adding everything, and then I will trim it down. And then I went through some of the ephemera pieces that I have already pre-cut, and I love this one. In hindsight, I really like this one, kind of looking back through the editing of it. But then I tried another one. I tried this one, and then I thought, well, maybe I should try another one. And so then I pulled out this wreath, and then I wasn't happy with that either. So then I pulled out another one, and I just went through. The struggle was real with this card. I don't know why. And there were just different things that I liked about it. I loved the little presents, and then I thought, well, let me bring in this other piece and see how they work together. In the end, I decided on this kind of Christmas ornament, kind of hanging down. And then I really wanted to just keep a lot of that, that book page visible. I had tried this label, it was too big. And so in the end, I just came back with a little label that says Christmas in like 1894 or something on it. And I'm just going to keep it very simple with this. So I don't know why I struggled with this one so hard, because it just ended up really being super simple, but sometimes that's just how it is. And I thought I would just kind of leave the struggle in so you can see just sort of my thought process behind some of these things. I just really wanted to keep a lot of that book page visible. And now moving on to the next pocket that needs a journaling card. I'm going to go back to the craft cardstock for this. And I knew I had several pockets that were larger that I would need to fill. So I did go ahead and pre-cut those craft cardstock pieces just to make this process just a little bit easier. And I did cut some down into tag shapes as well. And then this is another page just from those same printables. I'm just trying to keep the background kind of neutral so I can focus on the ephemera pieces and the focal images without being too distracting. And I wanted also to leave some of the craft cardstock. I really like that look. And so I just, again, tore the edge of this. I'm going to glue this down. And this is another one where I started kind of just trying out a bunch of different things, just trying to audition which things I thought would look best. And in the end, I really just liked it simple, and you'll see that here in a second. So I trimmed everything down. Again, you can see all the pile of pieces that I pulled out to try on here. And then I put this bow on it, and I just loved it. It just looked like a present to me. And I really love how it worked. So I inked this up just a little bit, and then I put it right in the middle. And I don't normally put things like right smack dab in the middle, but for this particular card, it just worked. And then I put a little label down at the very bottom that just says Merry Christmas. And I think I could have even just left the bow, honestly, because I liked it how that contrast looked so much. But in the end, I really like how that little journaling card looked as well. And then I'm going to round the corners of this. And that's basically the end of the first signature. So I'll do the second signature in another video. But I do want to do kind of a flip through so you can kind of see how this is coming along. And then there are still things that I want to add, like trims and lace and some, fabric pulls on some of the tags and those kinds of things. And so that will be, hopefully I'll be able to do that all in the next video. But if you liked this video, I would really appreciate it if you gave it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd love to have you join my Facebook group. Check out my website. All of those links will be in the description, as well as the link for Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio and her Etsy shop. She's got lots of beautiful Christmas collections that you can print, and there's always so many pages in there. You get a lot of bang for your buck with her printables. So be sure to check those out. Like I said, my link for that will be in the description, and we'll do another video soon showing the second signature and hopefully wrapping this journal up. But if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave those down below. And until next time, bye.